So today we're going to be talking about the top 4 stocks that I see opportunities in approaching this week. I'm also going to be reviewing a bit of my thoughts on the Uber IPO and what we should be doing with that. But for those of you who are unfamiliar about how these videos work, these are not stock picks that you should just buy and then randomly hold. These are stocks that are likely to have opportunities in my opinion, but you're always going to need to have a plan. You need to have an entry and an exit point plan. If you don't plan to succeed, you're automatically planning to fail. But before we get into this, if you would like to trade using a commission-free broker built specifically for traders, my suggestion is to use Webull. And if you sign up with our link, you will get a free stock plus 1 more free stock when you deposit. So 2 free stocks for simply trying out an app that has free commission trades. If you're using Robinhood or another no commission broker, my suggestion is to definitely try out Webull because Webull was designed specifically for traders and it has all the indicators and everything that we need in order to be successful. Anyways, in return for this video, the only thing I ask of you is that you hit that beautiful and ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe if you see value in the following video. By the way, I should mention that there is a fake ZipCharlie impersonator trying to exploit people on Facebook. Just know that I do not offer any services like this. I do not ask for any personal information. I am not a Nigerian prince. Sometimes I wish I was a Nigerian prince, but I'm not, so just be very wary of this issue. Okay, so to start, the Uber IPO on Friday was sort of a hot topic. We had folks on both sides, most thinking it was going to crash and burn like Lyft, and a few others thinking that it was going to appreciate because of the low price that Uber entered the market on. But the problem I see, and oftentimes the reasons I myself avoid IPOs, is that as traders, we use a combination of previous price action and fundamentals to analyze the risk-reward ratio. And of course, this allows us to figure out if we're getting a good deal or not, as well as signs of an uptrend. But the problem with IPOs is that we are missing a major part of this equation. We simply don't have the previous price action to go off of. Sure, we can analyze the fundamentals all we want, but at the end of the day, it's sort of like shooting at a dartboard. We don't exactly know where things are going to land because we don't have any previous patterns. If you're really good at fundamental analysis, you can get a good idea of where the company's actual true value is. But as we know, in the short run, company value is dictated not by its actual true value, but rather the opinions of the masses, what people are feeling that it's worth. And the positive or negative hype around IPOs makes this even more true. As we know, Lyft started at a much higher valuation and then ran down, whereas Uber started at a lower valuation because they were already aware of this issue. And I think the question that most investors have is if this lower end valuation will stem the downward direction that many think Uber is going to withstand in the next coming months. Okay, anyway, so the first stock on our watch list is going to be ACHN. Now, ACHN will be releasing their phase 2 data on May 17th, which is this Friday. Now, this was one of my picks from the top PennyStocks video for May, and we have seen it move against the general trend of the market last week and move towards a more silent run-up on Friday. But the interesting thing here is that shorts are massively running away from this company, closing over 1 million shares in April 2019. And the general uptrend is now showing early warning signs of investors anticipating a positive phase data release. But as we know, there isn't necessarily a correlation between what investors think is going to happen and what is actually going to happen. Thus, we need to focus on using technical analysis to identify traceable price action. And with that in mind, we are also getting closer to ACHN turning into a momentum play once it breaks previous resistance at 320-ish. On the other hand, negative phase data could push us the other way, bringing us back below fair value, which could give us another entry point for a discount play if oversold doesn't adjust further. So MRVL is setting up nicely for a discounted swing position. We have this consistent uptrend since mid-December and a pushback this week with the general market, followed by a 2% increase after hours on Friday. Now, analysts are bullish on this stock, mostly driven by high 5G expectations of the company's product line, and 22 major analysts are expecting it to continue to trend higher and outperform. Analyst target prices are at an average of 26, and the higher end is about at $30. Now, this is good because, as I often say, analysts are extremely well-versed and smart individuals. And most importantly, they always have your best interests in mind. So what I'd suggest is taking the analyst opinion and trusting it 100% without doing your own due diligence. Trusting analysts' opinions always ends well for individual investors. In fact, if they offer dating advice, I'd advise you to take that as well. Now, of course, this is but poor sarcasm. Analyst predictions are worth as much as old bread. But the value that these monkeys provide is based on the value that other investors see in their price targets and rankings. Thus, I always like to set a monkey level of support to catch where the average investor thinks the value is. because if analysts are convincing the general population that a stock is undervalued, this will give us an extra line of defense to push the odds more in our favor. With that being said, analysts are pointing at an average level of $26, so we'll set the monkey line of support there. But in any case, this is a good opportunity to get in at a discounted below fair value position, but make sure to buy in only at confirmation and wait for signs of a sustained uptrend if you are going to be considering taking a position. And of course, always have a plan. This is not a place for little boys and girls who like to hold and hope. So ticker symbol ZG or Zillow had a massive after hours run up after positive earnings and expectations for the upcoming quarter. ZG has been selling off massively in the long run as most folks aren't seeing long-term profitability in the stock. However, on Thursday, there was some bullish news for the company, explaining they are going to be expanding their often maligned new focus on adding a business model that buys and sells homes called Zillow Offers. So the perhaps surprising expansion of this program and overall consumer growth rate or consumer demand rate of this program shows a lot more potential for the program as a whole. And for Zillow's often worried about long-term financial viability. After the announcement, the stock price jumped from $34 to over $40. But the next day, all of the gains were eaten away, and we are now just back above the $35 mark. Now, we know that every reaction of the stock market to any piece of news is going to be an overreaction in one way or the other. So a massive run-up after hours and then massive sell-off in pre-market in the next day, that's not out of the ordinary. However, Zillow has been a much maligned company, and almost all of the gains from this announcement have now been removed. And honestly, I don't see that this announcement is worth nothing to the individual investor. I think that there was a certain amount of overreaction playing in here as well as the overall downtrend for the market. This massive run-up in the first part of after hours signifies that investors actually do value this move, a decent amount. And the later sell-off in pre-market and the following day were way overblown and practically uncalled for in my opinion. And yes, after hours is more sporadic, but Zillow is oversold in the long run, and I believe that we will see some more upside perhaps this week, or at least get some good entry points in this week. There is a decent amount of room to run, and I think that this news hasn't even been factored into the share price yet, as this was a completely unexpected bullish news for the company last week. That being said, I won't make predictions on the long-term actual value of the company, but I do think that we will see some viable entry and perhaps volatility points this week. And monkey level of support is at $39, giving us that extra level of protection, which is always nice. Thank you, monkeys. Okay, great. So last but not least, I feel I should cover one of our picks from last week. So Gush was not helped whatsoever by the market downtrend. We are still below fair value and have seen a recently unprecedented consistency in price. I'd say that barring a continued market downtrend, our comeback queen pattern of overbuying and overselling should continue in the following weeks. Okay, well, I wish you guys the best of luck this week. Hopefully we'll see some opportunities. Keep in mind ETFs, if we do continue to see a sell-off or a decent amount of volatility, keep in mind that ETFs will provide some of the best price action for you to trade off of. If the S&P 500 has a downward direction, trade the inverse. If it has an upward direction, trade the leveraged bullish index. Volatility indexes such as VIX also provide a lot of opportunities for us as traders, so I highly recommend checking them out if we do see some more market volatility in the overall market this week. And of course, if you're having a hard time following all the opportunities in the market, we also have the ZipTrader Circle Facebook group, we have the ZipTrader Discord group, and we have a trading tutorials playlist. And the wonderful thing about the Discord group is that you can simply just join and then pick which chat and category that you want to engage with. If you're into just swing trading, there's a whole section just for you. If you're into crypto, there's a whole section for you. Whatever you'd like to do, whatever sector that you want to focus on, there's an option for you on the ZipTrader Discord group. And if you need any further help, we do have trading tutorials. All you need to do is go to the ZipTrader main page, scroll down to trading tutorials, and then waha, here you go. And I tried to set it up in a way that you could start from the bottom and then work your way up, and then you could just consistently do that as if you were taking a course, because this way you can learn step by step. And then it gets a little bit more complicated with level 2, and you keep going on. And as you go on through the playlist, you start to learn more, and it goes more into depth. We start to go into strategies and criteria and whatever. But the main point is that if you start at the bottom, you'll start with learning how to use the platform. Then you'll learn about the most important indicator that we use, and then when to buy stocks, when to sell stocks, etc., etc., etc. We also have the ZipTrader Circle Facebook group, which I just mentioned. All you have to do if you'd like to access our nightly watch lists is you just go and you join the ZipTrader Circle Facebook group, and to the top every single night I pin a watch list with what I'm watching for the following day. And on the weekends I even make little weekend notes for people to kind of motivate them and get them into the market, because as you know, trading gains are earned when the market is closed, when you're learning, when you're trying to figure out what everything means. Anyways, folks, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.